You might not even suspect, but right now, there might be a person in your life who is slowly but surely destroying you from within. And the scariest part is you don't see it, because they don't scream, they don't hit, they don't humiliate you openly. They might smile, say they care, assure you that you are their everything. They could be your partner, your best friend, your parent, a co-worker. Yes, anyone from your close circle. But every time after interacting with them, you feel like you want to curl up into a ball, disappear, or just be silent, so as not to spoil anything, so as not to provoke another wave of something unclear but heavy. You come out of a conversation, and it's as if you're not there. An inexplicable heaviness in your body, in your chest a coldness or a strange pressure, in your thoughts fog and noise like static on an old radio. And you try to explain it to yourself, rationalize it. It's probably just a tough day today. I'm too sensitive. I'm just nitpicking. Everyone gets tired. Everyone has their problems. But somewhere deep inside, where your true essence lives, a feeling gnaws. Something is wrong. Something is fundamentally wrong. Something is breaking inside you. Something important. Something living and bright is dying day by day, drop by drop. And if right now, at this very moment, feeling that pang of recognition, you decide to turn off this video, there's a huge risk that you will never understand. Why it's getting harder for you to breathe deeply with each passing day. Why joy has become such a rare guest. Why your energy is slipping away like water through your fingers. And the most terrible thing that can happen if you don't learn the truth, you will continue to call this slow death, love, friendship, family ties. You will defend with your last strength the one who is imperceptibly but methodically destroying you. You will become your own strictest jailer just to avoid offending your invisible executioner, just to preserve the fragile illusion of normality. I know how it works. Believe me, I've seen it too many times. In myself, in my loved ones, in dozens, hundreds of people who initially thought, no, they're not doing anything bad to me. They're trying. I'm probably the one to blame. But it's not always about loud words, and not always about obvious, crude actions. It's about the state, the energetic field you immerse yourself in when you are around this person. If you systematically feel guilt without reason, inexplicable anxiety, a sucking emptiness inside, irrational shame for yourself, for your feelings, for your desires, and this repeats over and over, like a broken record, after every contact, it means you are already breathing poisoned air, even if it smells like roses. And now take a deep breath. Clear your attention of all extraneous thoughts, because next, I will show you 6 non-obvious but devastatingly accurate signs that are not shouted about on every corner, that are not written about in popular glossy posts. This is knowledge that is hidden from most. And if you recognize at least one of these signs in your life, it's not a coincidence. It's a signal. It's your soul, your intuition, the universe itself whispering in your ear, wake up, look, it's time to run. Stay with me, not for me, for yourself. Because sometimes one video watched in time, one word heard in time can become that very bridge, that very portal, through which you will never return to your former pain. Are you ready to see the truth? We live in a world of energies, vibrations, invisible connections. And just as there are people whose presence fills us with light, joy, and inspiration, there are also those whose energy, like a slow but inexorable poison, penetrates the deepest depths of our being. We call them toxic people. But this word is just the tip of the iceberg. The true danger lies not in their overt aggression, but in subtle, almost imperceptible manipulations, in those non-obvious signs that our mind often refuses to notice until it's too late. It's like a drop of poison falling into a pure spring, gradually poisoning all the water. At first it's unnoticeable, but over time the spring loses its life-giving power. In this video, we won't just talk about toxicity. We will embark on a deep journey of self-discovery, illuminated by the wisdom of ages and the discoveries of modern psychology. We will uncover 6 non-obvious but critically important signs that there is a person random with you whose influence is destroying your life from within. This is knowledge that, according to researchers of human consciousness and energetic interactions, is available only to those who are ready for true awakening, for going beyond ordinary perception. And most importantly, we will not leave you alone with this truth. We will reveal how to recognize these signs and, even more valuably, how to free yourself from this influence without the destructive feeling of guilt that so often holds us hostage, like invisible chains. This will not just be information. This will be an initiation. Your initiation into a new life, full of strength, awareness, and freedom. Why is it so important to recognize these non-obvious signs? Because, as quantum physics and ancient teachings on the nature of reality teach us, everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy. Your emotions are energy. And the people you interact with also radiate certain energetic vibrations. When you are constantly in the field of low-frequency, destructive vibrations emanating from a toxic person, your own energetic system begins to fail. It's like placing a healthy flower in poisoned soil. Sooner or later, it will begin to wither, losing its colors and vitality. Dr. Joe Dispenza, whose research at the intersection of neuroscience, epigenetics, and quantum physics has changed millions of lives, constantly emphasizes, our internal environment shapes our external reality. If your inner world is constantly under attack, even if unconscious, from another person, your ability to create, love, enjoy life, and achieve your goals rapidly declines. Neurobiologically, this is explained by the fact that chronic stress caused by toxic interaction activates ancient survival programs in our brain. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are released, which, while useful in the short term for the fight or flight response, deplete our resources, suppress the immune system, and literally shut down higher cognitive brain functions responsible for creativity, planning, and empathy when exposure is prolonged. You begin to live not your own life, but a reaction to someone else's toxicity, trapped in a cycle of survival, not thriving. But here is a ray of light. Awareness is the first step to change. Once you learn to see these subtle, non-obvious signals, you cease to be a blind victim of circumstances. You gain the opportunity to make a conscious choice. A choice in favor of your health, your happiness, your soul. A choice in favor of activating those neural pathways that lead to growth, healing, and expansion of consciousness. And this knowledge does not come through China. It comes when you are ready. And if you are still here, it means you are ready. Let's uncover the first of these secret signs, which can radically change your perception. So, the first, and perhaps the most insidious of the non-obvious signs, is the inexplicable and chronic depletion of your life energy after interacting with a specific person. Note, I'm not talking about physical fatigue after hard work or intense training. I'm talking about a deep internal emptiness that sets in even after a short, seemingly harmless conversation, as if your battery has been removed. You might feel energetic, full of strength, but as soon as you spend a little time with this person, it's as if an invisible pump has drained all the joy, all the enthusiasm, all the life force out of you. This isn't just a bad mood. It's a feeling as if your soul has been squeezed like a lemon. Ancient mystics called this phenomenon energetic vampirism, and modern research in bioenergetics and psychology increasingly confirms that some people, consciously or not, literally feed on the energy of others. This is not fantasy, it's the reality of subtle energetic exchanges. Imagine two communicating vessels. If the water energy level in one is low, it will try to equalize itself at the expense of the other. How does this manifest? Sudden apathy and loss of motivation. What delighted and inspired you just an hour ago suddenly loses all meaning. Plans seem overwhelming, goals unattainable. Mental fog and distractibility. It's hard to concentrate, thoughts get tangled, as if your brain is shrouded in a dense veil. Making even simple decisions becomes torture. Emotional emptiness, or conversely, inexplicable anxiety. You feel neither joy nor sadness, just indifference and weariness of everything. Or conversely, after communicating with a person who is themselves full of anxiety and negativity, you suddenly start experiencing these same emotions, although there are no objective reasons for it. This is the work of so-called mirror neurons. We literally mirror the emotional state of those with whom we communicate. And if this state is toxic, it poisons us too. Physical symptoms without visible causes. Headaches may appear, heaviness in the body, especially in the solar plexus area, a desire to lie down immediately and do nothing, sometimes even nausea or trembling. Why does this happen? A toxic person, often being internally empty, insecure, or in a state of constant internal conflict, lack, envy, hidden anger, subconsciously seeks a source of nourishment, and your pure, bright, high-frequency energy becomes this source for them. They can do this through asterisk, constant complaints and whining. They pour their negativity onto you, and you, being an empathetic person, absorb it, giving your positive energy in return. Asterisk, provocation of strong emotions, anger, irritation, resentment, pity. All these are low-frequency vibrations they can recharge with. Asterisk, criticism and devaluation. By lowering your self-esteem, they feel more significant, taking your confidence. Asterisk, creation of drama and chaos. It's easier to fish in troubled waters. In an atmosphere of drama, they feel alive and you, exhausted. And the most non-obvious thing here is that the toxic person themselves can appear quite friendly. They might even give you compliments or express pseudo-care. This is a masterful disguise. But your intuition, your body, your energetic system do not lie. They, like sensitive indicators, react to the true essence of vibrations. If after communicating with someone you regularly feel as if you've run a marathon without moving, or as if you've been dipped in a vat of dirty water, this is a powerful signal. The universe is screaming at you, caution, your energy is in danger, your life forces are leaking away. Think deeply now. Is there a person in your circle after communicating with whom you feel exactly this? Don't dismiss this feeling. Don't look for logical excuses. This is your inner compass pointing to the source of your precious life force leakage. And this is just the first bell, just the first layer of the onion we've started to peel. What we uncover next will help you see the full picture of this invisible war for your energy, your happiness, and your soul. And now let's touch on something even more subtle, but no less destructive. The second, non-obvious sign that you are under toxic influence is the gradual, almost imperceptible dimming of your inner light, the suppression of your true authenticity. Your unique I, that divine spark that makes you. What do I mean? Remember yourself, your dreams, hobbies, your unique talents, what made your eyes sparkle, your soul sing, your heart flutter with anticipation. Now ask yourself honestly, next to this person, do you still allow yourself to be yourself? Or do you unconsciously start to shrink, become smaller, quieter, more convenient, as if trying to fit into a box that is too tight for you? This doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, creeping process, like water wearing away a stone, or like ivy gradually enveloping a healthy tree and depriving it of sunlight. Self-censorship and fear of self-expression. You start to think twice, thrice, before saying or doing something, fearing criticism, ridicule, sarcasm, or just cold disapproval. Your jokes become less bold, your opinions less expressed, your ideas remain unspoken. It's as if you're wearing an invisible muzzle. Abandonment of hobbies and passions. What used to bring you joy and fill you with energy? Hobbies, meetings with friends who share your interests, striving for new knowledge. Spiritual practices gradually fades into the background. Why? Because they don't like it. It's not approved of. It's ridiculed. Or it simply causes such a flow of passive aggression or demonstrative suffering that it's easier to give up than to constantly fight for your right to joy. Loss of spontaneity and intuitive flow. You stop trusting your impulses, your intuition, your inner voice. Every step is checked with a look over your shoulder. And what will they say? How will they react? Won't this cause another wave of discontent? Life turns into walking through a minefield. Feeling out of place and losing yourself, you increasingly catch yourself thinking that you are playing a role, that you are not real, but only a pale, distorted copy of who you could be. You look in the mirror and don't recognize yourself, your extinguished gaze, as if someone stole your colors. Toxic people, especially those of a narcissistic, controlling, or envious nature cannot stand others' radiance. Your light, your individuality, your joy, your successes. For them, this is not just an irritant, it is a direct threat to their fragile ego. They themselves often feel empty or inadequate, and your light only emphasizes their own darkness. They may do this not through direct prohibitions, but through subtle devaluation. Oh, what nonsense have you come up with? Are you really interested in this? Seriously? Well, you know, not everyone can be a genius. Through passive aggression, silence, sighs, eye-rolling, through creating an atmosphere in which being yourself becomes simply unbearable, awkward, shameful. This is reminiscent of the well-known crabs in a bucket phenomenon. When one crab tries to escape, others pull it back. Toxic people often behave the same way. They don't want you to grow, develop, become happier, because it will take you out of their control or make them feel even worse in comparison. As the great philosopher and poet Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. And the gradual dimming of your inner light, your authenticity, is a sign that the world, in the person of this toxic individual, is putting too much pressure on you. You stop hearing the music of your soul because it is drowned out by the noise of someone else's toxicity, someone else's fears, someone else's envy." If you recognized yourself in this description, if you feel that your spark is fading next to someone, that you are losing touch with your true I, this is not just difficulties in relationships or personality clashes. This is an SOS from your soul, a plea for salvation. And this is another non-obvious, but critically important marker that it's time to think about your freedom, about your right to be yourself. But wait, there's more. The next sign reveals an even deeper mechanism of manipulation that keeps you in invisible chains of self-deception. The third, non-obvious, but incredibly indicative sign that you've fallen into the trap of a toxic relationship is when you catch yourself constantly justifying this person's behavior to yourself and to others. You become their unwitting lawyer, the defender of their destructive actions, even if it goes against your own values and common sense. They didn't mean it. They were just tired. They just had a hard day at work, that's why they snapped. She's actually good, caring. She just has a difficult personality, and she doesn't know how to express her feelings differently. No one will understand me like they do. Despite all these little things. Familiar phrases, aren't they? This is your mind desperately trying to create an illusion of normalcy, harmony, love where there is none or where it is poisoned. It's a defense mechanism, but it's working against you. This mechanism of self-deception kicks in when reality becomes too painful to accept. Admitting that a loved one is hurting you, that the relationship is destructive, can be unbearable. And then the psyche looks for workarounds. Minimizing damage and rationalization, you downplay hurtful words. "So what?" they yelled. "It happens to everyone. At least they apologized." A week later. Cruel actions. "They broke my favorite cup, but it was an accident. They were just angry." Cold indifference. "She didn't wish me a happy birthday, but she has so much to do. She probably forgot." You find logical explanations for what defies logic. Searching for deep reasons in their past. You become a psychoanalyst for your accuser. He behaves this way because he had a difficult childhood. His parents didn't love him. She's jealous and controlling because she was betrayed in past relationships. Undoubtedly, the past affects us, but it doesn't give anyone the right to destroy another person's present. Blaming yourself, hidden or overt, often behind justifying the other person, lies an unconscious or even imposed sense of guilt. Maybe I'm provoking them with my behavior. I'm probably asking for too much. I'm too demanding. If I were better, smarter, more beautiful, more patient, they wouldn't behave this way. This is a classic victim trap. Idealizing the past or rare good moments, the slot machine syndrome. You cling to those few episodes when everything was good, when they were attentive, caring, loving. These rare wins make you pull the lever again and again, hoping for a jackpot, ignoring the overall negative picture of constant losses. This is called intermittent reinforcement, and it forms a very strong addiction. Why is this so dangerous? Because by justifying toxic behavior, you give it a green light. You signal to the manipulator and to yourself that their methods work, that you are willing to endure, that your boundaries can be moved again and again until nothing is left of them. You become an accomplice in the destruction of your own self-esteem and your life. This is what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. When your beliefs, for example, I deserve respect, conflict with reality. For example, my partner constantly humiliates me. You either change reality, leave, or change your beliefs. Maybe I don't deserve respect, or they're not so bad. Justification is a way to soften this dissonance, but the price is too high. As masters of mindfulness and spiritual teachers like Eckhart Tolle teach, reality is what is, not what we wish it to be. And when you constantly distort this reality to fit your hopes, fears, or addictions, you lose touch with yourself, with your intuition, with your right to respect and a healthy life. You live in an illusion that you yourself maintain. If you've noticed that most of your mental energy goes into explaining to yourself or others why this person isn't really that bad, despite clear evidence to the contrary, this isn't just an alarm bell, it's a toxin. It means the poison has already penetrated deeply, distorting your perception and your will. But don't despair. Recognizing this mechanism is already halfway to healing, to regaining clear vision. And what we'll talk about next will show you how this poison becomes even more sophisticated, attacking the very essence of your worth. We are approaching the fourth non-obvious sign, which acts as a slow but sure killer of your self-esteem, your belief in yourself. This is the subtle, almost invisible but constant devaluation of your achievements, your feelings, your thoughts, your values. This is what can be called gaslighting light. It's not as obvious as direct denial of reality. That didn't happen. You made it all up. But its effect is no less destructive because it undermines your confidence from within, like termites undermining a wooden house. How does it work? It's the art of small, almost imperceptible pricks that eventually merge into one large bleeding wound. Belittling successes and achievements. You share the joy of a promotion at work, and in response you hear, well, anyone could handle that position, there's nothing difficult there. Or, you just got lucky, you were in the right place at the right time. Or even more subtly, well done, of course. But if you also did something else, then it would be really super. Your efforts, talents, hard work are, as it were, erased, nullified. Your victory turns into something insignificant. Ignoring, downplaying, or ridiculing your feelings. You say you're hurt, offended, scared, and they reply, you're too sensitive like a child. You're exaggerating everything, always making a mountain out of a molehill. Don't be so dramatic. Nothing terrible happened. Your emotions are declared inadequate, unimportant, silly. You are deprived of the right to your feelings. Innocent jokes, sarcasm, and teasing that hit a sore spot. Under the guise of humor, you are told things that hurt your self-esteem, your beliefs, your values, your appearance, your dreams. And to your natural reaction, offense, tears, indignation, can't you take a joke? You have no sense of humor at all? This is a classic technique to make you doubt your adequacy and swallow humiliation. Constant unsolicited advice, improvements, and constructive criticism. Whatever you do, there's always a way to improve it, to point out flaws, even if you didn't ask, and are quite happy with the result. The dress is beautiful, but this color makes you look fat. The idea is good, but you didn't consider this and that. This creates a constant feeling that you are never good enough, that you always fall short of some ideal. Comparison with others, not in your favor, of course. But name of another woman, man, would never do that. Per S, he always looks perfect. Per HE is so successful. These comparisons, explicit or implicit, make you feel worse, breed insecurity and envy. The goal of such behavior, conscious or unconscious, is to undermine your self-confidence, to make you doubt your own adequacy, the value of your thoughts, feelings, and achievements. A person who constantly devalues you seeks to elevate themselves at your expense. They are uncomfortable when you are strong, successful, confident, happy. Your strength, your light, your integrity remind them of their own inner emptiness, insecurity, or unfulfillment. By devaluing you, they try to bring you down to their level or lower. to feel better, stronger, more significant. It's like dripping water wearing away a stone, drop by drop. Every such innocent remark, every joke, every downplaying of your feelings, every comparison is a small but precise blow to your self-esteem. Over time, you begin to believe that your achievements really mean nothing, that your feelings are unimportant and silly, that you really are too reactive, that you are worse than others. You begin to see yourself through this person's eyes. Small, insignificant, inadequate, defective. This is a direct path to loss of self-respect and the development of learned helplessness. This is a very insidious form of emotional abuse because it often masquerades as care. I only want what's best for you. I want you to be better. Honesty. I'm just telling the truth. I don't like hypocrisy or humor. And it becomes difficult for you to understand what is true and what is a skillful, poisonous distortion. But your soul knows. Your heart feels this falsehood, this pain. If, next to someone, you constantly feel that you are becoming smaller, that your worth is being questioned, even if it's done with the best intentions or as a joke, this is a poisonous fog that is poisoning your very essence. And this fog hides even deeper, intuitive traps, which we will now discuss, traps that your body is trying to show you. The fifth, non-obvious sign is the voice of your intuition, that quiet whisper of the soul that many of us, unfortunately, have learned to ignore in favor of logic and ratio. It is an inexplicable but persistent anxiety, internal tension, or simply a diffuse, widespread discomfort that you experience in the presence of this person, or even at the mere thought of an upcoming interaction with them. Your mind may tell you that everything is fine, that there are no objective reasons for concern. The person may be polite, smiling, may even say pleasant things, give gifts. But somewhere deep inside, on a physical level, on a soul level, on the level of your energetic essence, you feel something is wrong, something is false, something is threatening. Physical tension and bodily reactions, clenched jaws, teeth gritted to the point of pain, tense, raised shoulders, as if you are constantly expecting a blow, a racing heart, or conversely, a heart that seems to stop, a lump in your throat, making it difficult to speak or swallow, butterflies in your stomach. But these are not butterflies of joy and love, but the fluttering wings of fear and anxiety, sweaty palms, unexplained trembling, headaches that arise or intensify in their presence, a feeling of heaviness in your chest as if a stone has been placed on it. Your body reacts before your mind can find logical explanations. The body remembers everything, even what the mind tries to forget or suppress. An acute desire to avoid meeting or shorten communication. You catch yourself looking for any excuse not to see them, postponing calls until the last minute, changing your usual route just to avoid crossing paths. If a meeting is unavoidable, you feel a decline in energy and internal resistance in advance, and afterwards, relief, as if you've escaped from a cage. Constant scanning of mood and atmosphere. You are in a state of heightened alertness, like a radar, constantly trying to catch the slightest changes in their mood, intonation, facial expression. You try to guess if it's safe to say or do something now to avoid an explosion, another wave of passive aggression, icy silence, or sarcastic barbs, a feeling of walking on a minefield or a tightrope. You are afraid to say or do something wrong because the reaction is unpredictable and often disproportionate to your actions. What caused a smile yesterday might become a reason for a scandal or days of being ignored today. You live in constant fear of making a mistake. This is your ancient, wise danger warning system signaling to you. Your intuition, this inner compass that connects you to the field of universal knowledge, to your soul, feels a dissonance, a mismatch between the person's external mask and their true energy, their hidden intentions, their destructive potential. This is what Gavin de Becker calls survival signals in his book, The Gift of Fear: Subtle Cues that help us recognize danger before it becomes apparent. As Albert Einstein said, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. In a world where we are taught to rely only on logic, facts, external manifestations, We have unlearned to trust this subtle but infallible voice within. We tell ourselves, I imagined it. I'm overthinking. There's no evidence. But intuition doesn't need evidence. It knows. Toxic people, especially skilled manipulators, often create an atmosphere of unpredictability, uncertainty, and emotional roller coasters around themselves. Today they are all charm, care, and attention. Tomorrow, an icy wall, criticism, and devaluation. These swings keep you in constant tension, exhaust your nervous system, destroy your sense of security, and make you doubt your own perception of reality. This is a classic technique for establishing control. If your body and soul are screaming danger to you through these inexplicable sensations, through this constant anxiety, please listen. This is not paranoia. This is not your excessive sensitivity. This is your deepest wisdom, your life force trying to protect you. It's a signal that this person's energetic field, their vibrations, their intentions are incompatible with your well-being, your health, your light. Ignoring these signals can lead to even more destructive consequences, one of which we will examine right now, and it is related to the heaviest, most suffocating burden. And so we come to the sixth, and perhaps most destructive, non-obvious sign, which turns your life into an endless atonement for non-existent sins, into voluntary slavery. This is the constant, all-pervading, irrational sense of guilt that haunts you in these relationships like a shadow. It seems that no matter what you do, you are always not good enough, always at fault for something, always owe something to this person or the relationship as a whole. This feeling of guilt becomes your second self. It dictates your thoughts, your actions, your emotions. Guilt for their mood and emotions. If they are in a bad mood, irritated, sad, angry, you automatically, without any evidence, take the blame on yourself. What did I do wrong? It was me who upset them. I probably should have been more attentive, patient, quieter. You become responsible for the emotional state of another adult. Guilt for their problems, failures, unfulfillment. You may start to feel responsible for their career failures. If I had supported them more. Financial difficulties. If I had spent less. Poor health. If I had taken better care of them. Unfulfilled ambitions. It's me who's hindering their development. The boundaries between your responsibility and theirs are completely erased. Guilt for your own needs, desires, and boundaries. You feel ashamed, awkward, scared to ask for help for yourself, to assert your boundaries, to want something for yourself. Rest, time for hobbies, communication with friends. Because it might upset, offend, burden your partner, or cause their displeasure. Your needs become selfish, inappropriate, secondary. Guilt for not meeting expectations, often unspoken. You constantly feel that you must conform to some unstated vague ideal of a good wife, girlfriend, daughter, friend, and the slightest deviation from this image causes you an acute sense of inadequacy, failure, guilt. It's as if you are constantly taking an exam that is impossible to pass with an A. Guilt for wanting to leave or change the situation. The very thought of ending this relationship, or at least seriously changing its dynamics, causes you a powerful attack of guilt. How can I leave them after everything that's happened? They'll be lost without me. I'll be a terrible person if I do that. Toxic people, especially those prone to passive aggression, hidden manipulations, and narcissistic traits, masterfully, virtuosically play on the feeling of guilt. It is their favorite weapon, their main tool of control. They can do this through asterisk sighs, a suffering look, silent reproaches, demonstrating how bad, hurt, lonely they supposedly are because of you. Asterisk indirect accusations and hints. Of course, do as you please, don't think about me. I'll manage somehow. I do so much for you and you. Asterisk constant reminders of the sacrifices they made for you or the relationship, creating a sense of eternal unpayable debt in you. Asterisk comparisons with others, where you always lose in caring or devotion, but name would never do that to their partner. Asterisk playing the role of a victim of circumstances or your ingratitude, making you feel like a monster. Guilt is a powerful lever of control. When you feel guilty, you are easy to manage. You are ready to make any concessions, sacrifice your interests, your time, your energy, your health, apologize for things you didn't do, just to get rid of this suffocating, corrosive feeling. You become an obedient executor of someone else's will, a puppet in someone else's hands, losing yourself, your will, your life in the process. As spiritual teachers and psychologists like Brené Brown say, guilt is one of the lowest frequency and most destructive emotions. It differs from healthy remorse, when you have actually done something wrong and want to fix it. Irrational guilt is the belief, I am bad. It blocks your connection to the source of joy, creativity, love, self-respect. It keeps you in the past, in a state of self-flagellation, preventing you from moving forward, preventing you from breathing. And if you live with a constant background feeling that you are bad, wrong, eternally indebted, unworthy, this is not your true nature. This is a deeply ingrained program, imposed on you from the outside, a virus in your system. Realize right now, you are not responsible for the happiness, mood, choices, successes, or failures of another adult. Each of us bears 100% responsibility for our own life. And if someone tries to systematically shift this responsibility onto you through the skillful cultivation of guilt in you, this is not just an alarm bell, it is a deafening siren, warning of mortal danger to your soul. And now that you know these 6 non-obvious but deadly signs, when you see how they intertwine, creating a poisonous web, the most important, most pressing question arises: what to do with all this? How to break free from this captivity without finally destroying yourself with guilt? The answers I will give you may become your lifeline, your map to a new life. So, we have gone through these 6 hazy, yet so revealing signs with you. Perhaps you recognized your situation, your relationships, your pain in them. Perhaps your heart clenched with recognition, and your mind began to feverishly search for confirmations or refutations. This is normal. Allow yourself to feel it. Don't suppress these emotions. Don't brush them aside. This is your soul talking to you. But don't stay in this state of analysis and pain for too long, because knowledge is power. And the knowledge you have received is not a sentence. It is the first, most important step towards your liberation, your transformation, towards returning to yourself. You might think, okay, I see it, I feel it, but how do I leave? How do I break these invisible chains? How do I stop feeling this terrible, paralyzing guilt, this sticky fear, this painful attachment? This is the most difficult, but also the most important question. And I will not leave you without an answer, because the universe, the higher mind, the source of all being, not only shows us problems and challenges, it always provides the tools and strength to solve and overcome them. Next, we will talk not just about advice or recommendations. We will talk about a sacred strategy, about an escape plan from this emotional, energetic, spiritual prison, about how, step by step, consciously, with love and the greatest compassion for yourself, to reclaim your life, your energy, your joy, your light, and to do it in such a way that guilt does not become your new jailer, but is transformed into wisdom and strength. Are you ready to learn how to turn the pain of recognition into the power of action, into a quantum leap towards your freedom? Then listen carefully, gather all your will and an open heart, because the next few minutes could determine the trajectory of your entire future life. Liberation from toxic bonds is not a sprint. It is a sacred marathon of the soul. It is a process that requires the courage of a pioneer, the awareness of a sage, and, most importantly, the deepest unconditional love and compassion for yourself, for that part of you that has suffered for so long. Guilt is the main guardian at the gates of this prison, insidious and convincing. And our task is not to fight it head-on, exhausting our last strength, but to disarm it with the light of understanding, new, life-affirming beliefs, and concrete actions. Here are 6 steps, 6 keys that will help you do this, opening door after door on the path to your true freedom. Step 1. Radical acceptance of reality and releasing others' responsibility. Awareness, not your faux LT, but their choice. The first and most fundamental thing is that you must not just understand, but assimilate at a cellular, vibrational level. You are not to blame for the fact that another person is toxic, manipulative, unhappy. You are not to blame for their choice to behave this way, for their inability or unwillingness to build healthy, respectful relationships. Their behavior is their responsibility, their internal programs, their unhealed traumas, their level of consciousness. You cannot fix, save, change, or heal them if they themselves do not choose it and do not take real steps to do so. As they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Your task is not to be a rescuer for someone drowning who is pulling you down with them, but to save yourself. Stop justifying and start seeing clearly. Remember sign number 3, where we talked about distorting reality. Consciously, with an effort of will, stop this internal flow of justifications. Call things by their proper names, at least for yourself. Manipulation is manipulation, not a difficult character. Devaluation is devaluation, not honesty. Emotional abuse is emotional abuse, not that kind of love, or they just don't know any other way. Take off the rose-colored glasses, even if reality seems too harsh and painful at first. As Buddha said, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Allow the truth to illuminate your situation. The "this is not my burden" practice. When the familiar, suffocating feeling of guilt arises, or when the toxic person tries to impose it on you, take a deep breath and tell yourself, aloud, if it's safe, or mentally, but with full conviction, "This is not my fault. This is their choice to behave, feel, think this way. I am not responsible for this. This is not my burden." You can even imagine physically taking off a heavy backpack filled with someone else's problems and responsibilities and giving it back to its owner. Repeat it like a mantra, like an affirmation of liberation, until it becomes your new inner truth. Step 2. Strengthening inner support and restoring divine self-worth. Remember who you truly are, a spark of the Creator. Toxic relationships, like acid, corrode your identity, your connection to your true divine self. Begin the process of remembering. Who are you beyond this role, this pain, these relationships? What did you love before meeting this person? What did you dream of in childhood, in youth? What talents and abilities lie dormant within you, awaiting awakening? What brought you genuine joy, a feeling of flight, a connection to something greater? Keep a journal, not for analyzing problems, but for exploring yourself. Write down your thoughts, feelings, desires, dreams, insights. Draw, sing, dance, do what connects you with your soul. Affirmations of divine power and unconditional self-love. These are not just positive phrases. These are vibrational codes that reprogram your subconscious, your cellular memory. I am a beloved child of the universe, valuable and worthy of love, happiness, and abundance simply because I exist. My feelings are important and have a right to exist. I am the creator of my reality, and I choose joy, peace, and harmony. I am strong, wise, and capable of handling any challenges with grace and ease. Say them in the morning, looking yourself in the eyes in the mirror, in the evening before bed, in moments of weakness, doubt, or fear. Feel their vibration in every cell of your body. Let them become your new prayer, creating a sanctuary of your achievements and divine qualities. Often, toxic people and the internal criticism they generate make us forget our strengths, our uniqueness. Take a beautiful notebook or create a file and write a list of everything you have achieved in life, even things that seem trivial to you. Learned a new language, cooked a delicious dinner, helped someone, overcame a fear. Then write a list of all your positive qualities, talents, abilities, both those you manifest and those you would like to develop. Add to this list every day. Reread it regularly, especially when you feel down or worthless. This is your personal treasure chest, your first aid kit for self-esteem, a reminder of your divine essence. Step 3. Creating a powerful energetic shield and establishing sacred boundaries. Visualization of energetic protection, cocoon of light and power. Before interacting with a toxic person, if it's still unavoidable, or when you feel their negative influence even from a distance, or simply in the morning, tuning into the day, create a powerful energetic shield around yourself. Sit or stand comfortably, close your eyes, Take a few deep breaths in and out. Imagine a powerful stream of energy rising from the very center of the earth and entering your feet, filling your entire body. Then imagine a dazzling beam of light. Gold, white, violet, whichever color resonates with you, descending upon you from the cosmos, from the source of all being, and enveloping you, creating a radiant, impenetrable cocoon or sphere around your body. This cocoon reflects all negativity, all low vibrations, all attempts at manipulation and control, and only allows pure love, light, and positive energy to enter. Feel safe, protected by this divine energy. This practice not only protects but also raises your own vibrations. Physical, emotional, and mental boundaries. Your sacred territory. Start small but be consistent. Boundaries are not walls that isolate you, but sacred frontiers of your personality that tell the world how you can and cannot be treated. Physical. Your personal space. Your body. Your time. Please don't stand so close. I don't want a hug right now. I need to be alone. I can't talk right now. Let's do it later. Emotional. Your feelings are your responsibility, and you are not obliged to absorb others' negativity. I understand you're upset, but I won't let you take it out on me. I won't discuss this topic when you're in this state. I sympathize with your problem, but I can't solve it for you. Mental. Your thoughts, beliefs, decisions. I respect your opinion, but I have a different one. I won't argue about this. Thanks for the advice, I'll think about it, but I'll make the decision myself. Say no to what makes you uncomfortable, what contradicts your values, what exhausts you. It will be scary, awkward, guilt-ridden at first. That's normal. Old programs are resisting. But with each time you assert your boundaries, your inner strength will grow. The Grey Rock Method. Neutralizing the manipulator. If directly setting boundaries causes an escalation of aggression or manipulation, use the Grey Rock Method. Imagine yourself as an inconspicuous gray stone on the side of the road. Become as boring, unemotional, predictable, and uninteresting an object for the manipulator as possible. Respond monosyllabically, without emotion. Don't engage in arguments. Don't share personal information. Don't react to provocations. Your task is to give them no emotional food, no hook to latch onto. Over time, not getting the desired reaction, the manipulator may lose interest in you and switch to another victim. This is not a sign of weakness, it's a wise tactic for conserving energy. Step 4. Planning the escape and creating a sacred support circle. Breaking away or distancing, this is a conscious process, not an impulsive urge. Rarely does anyone leave a toxic relationship in one day, especially if it's a long-term or deep connection. It can be a gradual emotional, and then physical, distancing. Develop your personal evacuation plan. If it's a work collective, minimize contact. Look for another job or a transfer to another department. Document instances of toxic behavior, if possible. If it's a relative, determine a safe distance. Limit communication to the necessary minimum. Don't get drawn into family dramas. Learn to say no to manipulative requests. If it's a partner, this is the most difficult path. Here you may need help from specialists, psychologist, lawyer, creating a safety net, financial housing. Don't rush, but don't postpone it indefinitely. Your freedom is worth fighting for. Don't do it alone. Your support group. Tell trusted friends, relatives who truly love and support you, rather than judge you. Start justifying the toxic person. They're not like that, you're exaggerating. Or give unsolicited advice. Seek out those capable of empathy and unconditional acceptance. Consult a psychologist, psychotherapist, or coach specializing in toxic relationships and recovery from them. There are support groups, online and offline, for people who have experienced emotional abuse or codependent relationships. Know that you are not alone. Millions of people go through this, and mutual help is a huge strength. Financial and practical independence, the foundation of your freedom, if applicable. If you are financially or practically dependent on a toxic person, start taking concrete, albeit small, steps towards self-sufficiency. This could be finding a job or part-time work, acquiring new skills, creating your own source of income, looking for options for separate housing, even if it seems unrealistic for now. Every step in this direction will strengthen your confidence and bring liberation closer. Step 5. Deep work with guilt. Rethinking, transforming, and self-forgiveness. Irrational guilt. This is a learned reaction, a conditioned reflex. Understand at the deepest level that your feeling of guilt in this context is not a healthy signal from your conscience about a real transgression, but the result of skillful, long-term manipulation and training. You were taught to feel guilty for everything. And just as you learned this, you can unlearn it. Break this vicious conditioned reflex. Whose guilt is it really? Distinguishing responsibility. Every time a wave of guilt washes over you, stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, whose responsibility is this really? Did I actually do something objectively wrong? Violate someone's rights? Cause real harm? Or am I being manipulated right now? Being made to feel obligated? Bad? Wrong? Learn to distinguish between healthy responsibility for your real actions and imposed, toxic guilt that serves others' interests. The practice of deep self-compassion, à la Christine Neff. Instead of engaging in self-flagellation, criticizing and berating yourself for mistakes or for enduring it for so long, treat yourself with the same tenderness, kindness, understanding, and compassion with which you would treat your closest and most beloved friend in the same situation. Tell yourself, my dear, I'm so sorry you had to go through all this. It was very hard, and you did everything you could at that moment with the resources you had. You deserve love, peace, and happiness. I am with you. I will not leave you. Embrace yourself mentally. Giving back guilt and a liberation ritual. Mentally, or even by writing down on paper everything you feel guilty for in these relationships, and then ritually burning this list or flushing it down the toilet, return this feeling of guilt to whoever imposed it on you. Say, this guilt is not mine. These are your projections, your manipulations, your responsibility. I return it to you. I choose freedom from this burden. Self-forgiveness, the key to healing. The most difficult, but also the most important thing, is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not leaving sooner, for allowing yourself to be treated this way, for not seeing, not understanding, not being able to. You acted from the knowledge and resources you had at that moment. Now you have new knowledge, new strength. Self-forgiveness opens the doors to deep healing and growth. Step 6. Healing soul wounds and consciously creating a new, radiant reality. Time heals, but active, conscious healing accelerates and deepens the process. Allow yourself to grieve for lost time, shattered hopes, unfulfilled dreams, for that part of yourself that you may have lost in these relationships. This is a natural and necessary part of healing. Don't rush yourself. Give yourself as much time as you need. But don't get stuck in this grief. Use it as fuel for transformation. Fill your life with new meaning, joy, and light. As you begin to free yourself from toxic influence, space will open up in your life, both energetic and temporal. Consciously fill this space with what nourishes your soul, what brings you joy, what aligns with your true values. New hobbies, creativity, learning, spiritual practices, communication with positive, supportive people, volunteering, travel. Create a life where there is no room or time for toxicity. Lessons, not mistakes. Wisdom from ashes. Perceive this painful experience not as your mistake or failure, but as a valuable, albeit very difficult, lesson that has made you immeasurably wiser, stronger, more aware. What are the main conclusions you've drawn from these relationships? What have they taught you about yourself, about other people, about boundaries, about love, about self-respect? How will you build your relationships with yourself and others in the future based on this new wisdom? Write down these lessons. They will become your guides. Celebrate your freedom and your strength. You are a victor. Every small step on the path to liberation, every no said to manipulation, every manifestation of self-love is a huge victory. Praise yourself, thank yourself, celebrate your successes. You didn't just survive. You are saving your soul. You are reclaiming your divine power. You are a phoenix, rising from the ashes of your old life, even more beautiful and strong. Remember, my dear seekers of light, This path can be difficult, thorny. There will be moments of setbacks. There will be doubts. There will be fear. There will be pain. But on the other side of this path is you, the real you, free, strong, radiant, connected to your source. And every step, every breath on this path is worth it. Your soul awaits this liberation. We have traveled a long, deep, and I hope, transformative path together. We have looked behind the scenes of an invisible drama that, unfortunately, plays out in the lives of so many light-bearing souls. We have seen the non-obvious, yet so destructive signs of poison that taints souls and steals life energy. And most importantly, we have outlined 6 sacred steps to freedom, to healing, to reclaiming yourself. Freedom from toxic influence, freedom from the suffocating, paralyzing feeling of guilt. Perhaps now you have many thoughts, many feelings, many realizations. That's good. That's wonderful. It means the process of deep transformation has begun. The knowledge you receive today is not just information that can be listened to and forgotten. It is a living seed. A seed of awareness that, if you carefully water it with your determination, your courage, your love for yourself, will grow into a mighty, blossoming tree of your new, happy, light-filled reality. Remember the words of the great sages and spiritual teachers of all time. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Today you received not just knowledge, you received tools. You received keys to withdraw that consent. To say a firm, conscious no to manipulation, no to devaluation, no to energetic vampirism, no to living in fear and guilt. To say a loud, joyful, all-encompassing yes to yourself, to your feelings, your desires, your dreams, your divine light. This does not mean that the world around you will instantly change with a wave of a magic wand, but you will change. And when you change at a deep, vibrational level, when your energy, your consciousness, your point of assembly changes, then your reality begins to change too. You will start attracting different people, different situations, different energies, corresponding to your new state. You will start seeing opportunities where you previously saw only walls and obstacles. Your life is your sacred masterpiece, and only you can decide what colors, what light, what music to fill it with. Do not be afraid of this path. It may seem lonely at first, but you are not alone. Millions of souls have gone and are going through this and are finding their true strength, their radiance, and you can too. Within you, there is a boundless, inexhaustible source of wisdom, love, resilience, and divine power. Trust it. Allow it to guide you. If this message resonated in your heart, if you felt it was meant specifically for you, if it ignited a spark of hope or determination in you, I ask you to do 3 small but very important actions. First, give this video a like. Let your gratitude, your energy become the impulse that helps this vitally important knowledge reach those who desperately need it right now, those who may be suffering in silence, not knowing that there is a way out. Second, subscribe to our channel. Here, in this sacred space, we will continue to explore the depths of human consciousness together, uncover the mysteries of the universe, and find practical paths to true happiness, harmony, and self-realization. And third, most importantly, please share in the comments below which of the non-obvious signs of toxicity resonated most with you. What first, even smallest, step towards your liberation are you ready to take today or in the coming days? Your stories, your thoughts, your feelings are invaluable support, a ray of light for other seekers on this path. Let's create a powerful field of strength, understanding, healing, and mutual inspiration here. Always remember, you are light, you are strength, you are love, you are a priceless, unique creation of the universe. And no darkness, no toxicity, no manipulation can extinguish your inner radiance if you yourself do not allow it. Your journey to freedom, to your true divine essence begins not tomorrow, not later, but right now. Take that step. The universe, all light forces are waiting to support you, to guide you, to celebrate your rebirth. Until our next bright meetings in the space of boundless awareness and heartfelt transformation,